Good afternoon and good evening or good morning, wherever you are. I'm Doug Brunke. I'm the founder and CEO of Global Chamber, and you have reached the monthly Global Chamber San Francisco Silicon Valley Meetup, normally led by Jeff Olson of Top Source Worldwide, who's our Global Chamber Advisory Board Chair for the chapter, but he is preoccupied unless he changed his pattern. And let's see. No, he mentioned he would not be here today. So just in case, I'll taking a look. He's our board chair for the chapter, and we recently had a in-person meeting at Altos Bank, and so I can give an update on that if there's some time at the end. But that worked out really well, and I'll kind of see if did anybody else here attend that one? I think Deep did. Hey, Deep, how are you?
Wonderful, Doug. Great seeing you. Yes, that was an amazing event. Thanks for having us.
You pulled out of something, right? Didn't you like you picked your daughter up at school and then you found a way to head over to Los Altos?
Yeah, I'm the chauffeur, so she's got a small kid.
Could you just briefly introduce yourself before we get started? Because I mean, Deep is amazing in many, many,
Thanks.
many ways. And one of the most significant things is that he has the award from the US government for exporting excellence. He's been training and teaching people and day to day helping them with compliance in their exporting for many years. He and I met even before Global Chamber in Phoenix, as it turned out. He's based on the peninsula and the Silicon Valley in the Bay Area, or actually, I guess, in South San Francisco, right?
That's right.
Which I guess probably is the peninsula. And he has been helping companies. He got awarded from the US government. Back in those days, you were with, I believe, FedEx and running their consulting division for logistics
That's right.
and
That's right.
compliance. So if you have any compliance questions or any issues related, Deep is the person to go. He knows the topic deeply. And so sorry for that pun. You've probably heard a million times. Another significant thing about Deep, other than having an amazing family and a daughter who's a swords person, he was our first advisory board chair for the Global Chambers chapter. So we've had, I think, three excellent board chairs, now four in a row. Deep kicked things off, and some of you know Lainey Denslow was next. Lainey also is an extraordinary lady. She's sort of retired. Deep is not ready to retire. What did I get wrong, Deep?
Doug, you've covered it all. Thank you so much for the kind words. I just want to say, I'm here as a resource. Over half my practice is pro bono, helping small to medium-sized companies, with a free consultation that usually answers all their questions. Doug said knows the subject deeply. What I normally say is companies call me when they're in deep trouble. But I also deal with tariffs for the last 20 years, so that's something I do. So my consulting firm has just finished 10 years, and we help companies with import issues, export issues, controls, trade compliance, and delighted to assist this group in any way we can, pro bono. So,
Fantastic. And he and I also share a passion for good food. And one of the best places, if you're in the Bay Area, to go is both of our, other than his own home, the best Indian food, perhaps on the West Coast, Zareen's, which has multiple locations. But the one in Palo Alto is pretty unrivaled. I don't know. What do you think?
there's so many options, but yes, Zareen is great, and I can't wait to host you again, Doug, on your next trip.
Looking forward to it. Sorry we didn't have time the last time.
Guys.
The purpose of today is really to give all of our members an opportunity to give updates on what's going on and if there are needs that you have to share those. And then also, we'll have some time for people who are not yet members to share, hopefully, during this call. Besides Deep, another person who's on our regional advisory board, and if he's available, I'd love him to talk. Casey Branch is the world's expert on cannabis and alcohol. And so if you have anything in that market, KC is the man. He's a tweener. He does live in between LA and San Francisco, kind of an area, kind of a gray zone for most people. Maybe you don't know that whole area, but he does also spend a lot of time on a plane. He also has an office in Austin. KC, what's going on in your world? Do you have a moment just to say hi?
Sure. Happy whatever day this is, Wednesday to everybody. Right now I'm in Austin, and it's a lovely hot day, as many summers are. But the wine and cannabis industry is rapidly changing. The wine industry seems to have been fairly quiet, and lots of concern about health issues regarding wine and alcohol. Lots of concerns about millennials and others not drinking as much as they used to, which is maybe good for their health, but not necessarily good for the industry. So there's those concerns. And now we have the new concerns with cannabis. We've got a big hearing going on in Texas right now about hemp and the illegal marijuana trade that's become legalized because of the scientific way that they made basically THC out of hemp in all kinds of weird ways, and you can actually buy bottles of what is equivalent of THC, very strong drinks in Texas, even though THC is technically not allowed in Texas. And then we have the federal government right now talking about moving it from a Schedule 1 drug down to a Schedule 3. And everybody says, oh, that's wonderful. But the big concern there is it stops being an independent sort of industry run by lots of entrepreneurs who haven't made any money doing it, because now the pharmaceutical industries will come in and take over the industry, and you have to qualify with FDA on all your products. And most people can't afford to have their products analyzed by the FDA and go through that whole procedure. So it's sort of be careful what you ask for. Yes, it'll be less regulated. It'll be more regulated in some ways. It'll be legal, but more regulated as a Schedule 3 drug. So a lot of entrepreneurs are really concerned that they may not be able to stay in business at all. And they've already had such a difficult time with high taxes and high regulations on the state level. And the federal government getting involved in all that's going to create more and more issues. So those are some of our concerns in the cannabis and the alcohol world. One interesting thing is that you can't export or import marijuana at all. But what a number of my clients have decided to do is export their services and their expertise. And when I worked for the Reagan administration way back in the day, we were always trying to figure out how to calculate the trade and services. And that's accounting services and human resources services and things like that. And now it's come full circle in that these cannabis industries can't export or import product, but they can export and import technology, import-export IP, and import and export advice and counseling across state lines and across federal lines. So that's become a very big part of this industry, to try and globalize what is a very, very localized industry.
Does anybody have any questions for KC or for Deep? A couple of folks that have spoken already. Anybody else in the cannabis or alcohol industry?
Anita?
Actually, I have a question for Casey. What countries do you find that your clients are exporting their knowledge and their IP to?
To Costa Rica, to Uruguay, to Spain. We've had some discussions with Switzerland, although nothing's really taken place there. But all of those countries don't really have the expertise in what we're doing or the marketing expertise and that kind of thing. And so we're actually working on the world's first cannabis wine in Costa Rica between a big wine company here in California and a localized set of growers in Costa Rica. And even though that's completely banned in this country, it is not banned in Costa Rica and may actually become a real product. Now, why you would want to do that is your own personal taste. And speaking of that, I have one client, he makes a vodka that tastes like weed, but has no weed in it with natural flavoring. I don't get it, but it's a shtick, and he seems to be happy with it.
No problem for taste.
Mhm.
Thank you, Casey, and thank you, Deep. And I encourage any of you along the way. Oh, David has his hand raised. Hey, David, how are you? Thank you for your support and collaboration and your membership in Global Chamber. Do you have a question or a comment, please?
Yeah, let's see. Sorry if I'm coming out of the gym here, trying to multitask. But we have the cannabis space and CBD space in general, something our company has been taking a look at regarding formulations for domestic as well as international distribution. So we haven't moved forward with any particular products because of the headaches that we could face as far as regulatory. So I'd definitely like to, if you don't mind, connect with you later as we are looking at some new verticals in that space and kind of pick your brain as to what you would recommend as far as new products or even white labeling for another company that would like someone to formulate, because we formulate as a contract drug manufacturing operation based in California out of Carlsbad currently. And we also have some IP surrounding a gene editing platform that could have applications in plants, obviously, where right now our verticals are in the cancer space with that particular technology. But I'm curious if you're aware of or know of, we'll call it engineered cannabis strains from.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So these engineered strains, I haven't taken a dive into regulatory surrounding them, but is it more permissive to engineer, we'll call it the active ingredients that you're looking for in certain strains and circumvent the headaches from the regulatory from that standpoint, or is it all going to be the same thing in the end?
It's all going to be the same thing in the end.
I see. Yeah. Well, good to know. And maybe we can also connect regarding. We are looking for clients in that space. It's a different vertical we haven't stepped into, and having conversations about custom engineered plants at the end of the day, and kind of reach out to that group. It's something that we're exploring.
Super. Well, welcome to the world.
Thank you.
I have a quick question. When you're talking about engineered plants for cannabis, is that the equivalent of GMO?
Yes. And if you get in the cannabis space, there's a lot of artificial plants and things like that, and that's why there's so many hundreds and probably thousands of strains of marijuana. Is because people have created these hybrids, and whether you want to call them GMOs or hybrids or what have you, they're all not the natural marijuana that our parents grew up with in the 60s.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
and I'll comment quickly on that. GMO is a bad word to a lot of people. We'll just say that it has a negative connotation, and rightly so. There's been some adverse effects associated with GMO commonly consumed crops, but it's important to remember, and I don't think it's really conveyed to the public yet, maybe because the engineering part of the plant used to be relatively naive, but it's much more advanced now, is that the genetic modification is a natural thing, and when we go in and engineer something at a core, there are fundamental tests that surround safety, right? And the bad rap that was recognized historically was not because necessarily the engineered genes, but rather the pesticides and chemicals that allowed those engineered genes to be exposed to and then ultimately consumed by humans. So it is a very, very powerful tool to create sources that would actually be really beneficial and safer to consume for people. But you know, it's going to be a while before that paradigm gets shifts, and but it will eventually happen because of the trajectory of the technology as well as the need for newer resources for food.
Great question. Great information. If you're interested to learn more, reach out to either KC on all of those topics, plus the alcohol, anything related to alcohol, and David. David, otherwise, kind of on a broader scale, would you like to share a little bit about SOM?
Yeah, sure. I'd like to put together a nice presentation for Global Chamber soon, maybe at the next opportunity. But I can speak to it briefly. So we have SOM traditionally was a contract drug manufacturing, cosmeceutical, nutraceutical, over distribution entity as well. So we had these verticals globally, actually, that the company had built into. More recently, the company acquired a technology that I developed. It's a gene editing technology. It's compared to, if you guys know the term CRISPR, if you've ever heard of that. So the CRISPR is one of those breakthrough sci-fi Star Trek things that have come about recently. It really gained traction over the last 6 years, which ultimately allows us to reprogram DNA. And you can't consider DNA as a program, it's information. And the tools now allow us to reprogram that for a number of things. We'll just say that. But since its development, these gene editing tools have been able to create things that cure cancer, for example, and that's already been done. And for example, if you guys haven't heard of a therapy by the name of CAR-T, it's like a car -T. Scientists would literally take an immune cell from a healthy donor and engineer a T cell to recognize cancer and put it back into a sick patient, and it kills the cancer, and that's already happening. And so there's technologies like this are developing, and we've thrown our hat into the mix and have IP dating back to 2015 and developing our own cancer pipelines now and looking to partner with other groups that are interested in things that have to do with DNA, whether it's biofuel or agriculture or human disease, or these things called just synthetic biology, which is a pretty cool topic that Microsoft is particularly interested in, because DNA, as it turns out, happens to be a really good source material for storing information. And but that's a whole nother story. So we won't get into that. But we do have capacity and products now that we are interested in distributing globally. Like, we have these really delicious Ayurvedic gummy bears that we source from India. The company was originally founded in India and then reincorporated here in the States in Nevada. And we're actually a public micro-cap company. And so these things, these types of really cool Ayurvedic type natural supplements, we have a very good access to, and all of these manufacturing plants that we work with in India are highly regulated by FDA, complete inspections. We have strong quality systems around it. So we're in Amazon and Walmart, and these are the type of things that we'd like to start, taking to market globally, and as well as custom formulations. So for example, there's a clinical group that's interested in formulating a topical, we'll call it cosmetic, regenerative medicine type of formulation that we can do, and we can do using plant-derived molecules or human-derived molecules, and we know the compliance and the systems to make it. And there's a huge market, especially in Asia, for these types of products, which we already have interest in. And there's certainly a market here domestically, but regulatory is a little more complicated here. So happy to present both sides of the company in the near future in more detail with cool pictures. But that's us. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. we're going to need to keep moving around, and especially because we have both a visitor and a member, a new member, and we've got, I would suggest maybe Yuka for you to make the introduction, and Carolina here is in the room as well. And so however you'd like to handle it. Carolina the Gumby is a member of ours in, why do I want to think Argentina? But you're in Spain, right? Carolina, where are you
Yes,
located?
I am, but I am Argentinian actually.
Oh, okay. So
That's
my
why.
brain was twisting me around. So where in Spain are you located?
Barcelona.
Barcelona, which happens also to be where Yuka Nakasone is usually based. Where in the world are you today, Yuka?
Yeah, today I am in the Barcelona area of Spain. Thank you very much for this meeting, Doug, and allowing us to come as a group. And sorry about taking this space, but it's nice to really see how San Francisco is doing, and it's refreshing to see new faces. Like it was first presentations, I mean, talks are so refreshing and so interesting that I like to talk to these people already. So this is exciting. And I came with Carol Ligambi. She is the president of Stillman Translations. She serves translation and language services to the global companies, and the company itself is Canadian. The CEO is in Canada, Ontario, but she's Argentinian and she's based in Barcelona, where I met her. And she talked to the event organizer. So she wanted to present this to San Francisco people because it's in San Francisco. So please take the mic, Carolina, and present yourself and talk about this event organizer and event itself and how you see this is beneficial for San Francisco Global Chamber.
Okay, thank you very much, Doug and Yuka, for the space. So basically, well, first, I am Carolina. I work for a Canadian company. I am Argentinian. I live in Spain. We're all over the place, basically, and my ancestors are Italian. So I'm a mixture of a lot of things here. Well, I ran a translation company, but this company is repurposing into different services. And one of the services that we are providing is related to legal translation. So we provide a lot of sworn translation or certified translation to run paperwork for the government. And that is why the guys at LexTalk contacted me first, and then they talked with my marketing manager and marketing assistant. And we feel that this event could be a very good fit for the members of the Global Chamber, not only in San Francisco. It's some member, it's near San Francisco or is willing to go there. I think they should take advantage of this event. So I could totally recommend that the organizers, say something about the event. I really think it's a good opportunity for the legal industry to learn more and to be all in the same space and to share knowledge, of course, as we all do in all the events. And I will also recommend a lot going to events as the Global Chamber group, because it's very nice to feel the companion of the other members, and also it catches the attention of other people. It really drags it drags the attention to what we are doing, because we have very good vibes among us. So I totally recommend going not alone, but also with other Global Chamber members to these events. So that's all on my side.
That's a great idea and a great thought. I think it might be Mayank. Is that how you pronounce your name? Could you just share a few minutes of what Carolina has introduced, and we're happy to hear more.
Hi everyone, and sure, and Yep, please go ahead, sir. We also have our founder and director on the line. His name is Abhishek Gaurav.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Doug, for inviting us for this meet. Uh, Pleasure is all mine. Just to have a quick introduction about me, I'm Abhishek Gaurav, co-founder and director at Clickaway Creators. We are into media and event space, and it's been almost 7 years. We have been working all across the countries. So we create and produce like Stock World. Apart from that, we have another property called at Talk World. And when it comes to publications, we have our publications like Ed Insider for the education vertical, and uh, for this legal domain, we have Jurisprudence that covers all the aspects under the legal industry. So it's a global conference and exhibition and awards platform for the legal industry as well as for the legal tech professionals. And our event brings together all the lawyers, law firms, corporate counsel, legal innovators, and policymakers from across the world. So we did almost 10 plus events so far. And our flagship event was held in Dubai last year. And recently we held two conferences. One was in New York and the other one was in India. So upcoming one would be in San Francisco, and we are planning to have at least 400 plus legal professionals. So that is the opportunity for you guys to be a part of that network. It's a great opportunity where we can share and exchange knowledge. It's a great strategic partnership opportunity for you guys. So it's a event for 2 days on 19th and 20th, and this time we are having two separate halls where we are discussing on legal IP and law tech, and like some topics are related to artificial intelligence and the how legal counsels are using AI in their current day-to-day roles. So a lot of other interesting subjects are there, and
Okay.
I'm happy to answer your questions if you have any sort of questions here.
What's the date and what's the title?
19th and 20th of November. It will be a 2 day conference happening at AMA Center at San Francisco.
Okay, very good. Does anybody have any questions or thoughts about that?
I have a question. Do we get a kind of discount or free ticket for Global Chamber if we go as a group or if we promote your events? I mean,
Absolutely, because I haven't thought about it, but now having your association, so I'm thinking of more like a collaboration. I'm a relationship guy. I always believe in a relationship, and focus is not on the monetary part. But yes, if we join hands and if you involve with us in the upcoming project, we'll definitely work on some sort of discounted rate. So maybe we can offer you one or two complimentary passes, which you can provide it to your premium guests.
great. Thank you very much, because we Global Chamber in Spain has this kind of arrangement with the local company, and it's very nice to have for the local members. So please consider collaborating. It's not
Absolutely,
for us
absolutely.
for Spain, but
Absolutely, because idea is to building a brand presence for you, and at the same time, we also get to discover new partners and new voices to our event, because it's a global network, and we are inviting people from 30 plus nations. And in the last event in India, if I talk about the Indian participation, we had around 1,000 plus legal professionals from the Asian and Middle East countries. That was the biggest event. Supreme Court sitting judges, uh, Attorney General of India, Solicitor General of India, Ministry of Law and Justice members, they joined the conference. So that kind of stature was there in that Indian edition. So we are just building this community. If you looked at the LinkedIn pages of Lex Talk World, you'll see we are already connected with more than 18,000 lawyers all across the globe. So it's a great opportunity to be a part of Lex Talk journey. And we would love to have Global Chambers as our partners in this.
Great, thanks. Yes, send me any information regarding that. And I see in the chat area, Mayank has sent some information as well. In terms of what Yuka suggested, please send that info over and I'm happy to take a look at it. Yuka is the master of that. How many organizations, Yuka, do you have that relationship with? It's quite a number of them.
Yeah, we have 3 or 4 associations, and 2 of them organizes events all the time. So event organizers, and one of them is a nationwide organization, and we have 12 B2B events year round, and the smallest is 4,000 attendees, and the biggest is 30, 40, 60,000 professionals coming on site. So that was my experience. I mean, it worked very well with the Spanish chapter. So I highly recommend to do this kind of meetups with the event organizers. Thank you. And I would like to introduce William that you did. Thank you very much, Doug, at the beginning of the meeting. But William is the valued sponsor for the Global Chamber Malaga, which is in the south of Spain. And Malaga is positioning as a cybersecurity hub because Google have a cybersecurity campus in Malaga. And so that came to my mind that maybe they can become a sponsor and I can bridge the city and the cybersecurity startup, and we can do something. That was my thought, and they're gracefully sponsoring us right now for Malaga. So, but William, my colleague from the language industry for 15 years now, is based in Silicon Valley. So thank you very much for including him for any local meetups in person. And he's a connector. He's a very open person, globally moving all the time. So thank you very much for inviting him, Sujan.
Thank you, Yuka. William, would you like to share a little bit about best defenses?
Yeah, I was just going to say next month we're going to be doing a whole presentation with the Global Chamber. So, but yeah, it's a startup. It's been going for a few years now, and I got involved with them about a year ago. And they are primarily in AI, smart cybersecurity defense for government and enterprise, as well as they're moving into Fortune 100 companies, smaller companies as well. They have some very unique IP that's new to industry that can wrap around current technology and really and test it with the equivalent of 15.4 million hits at once, each representing like an individual, a human, not just looking like it's a regular attack. It looks like 15 million humans are attacking all at once, so they can really test it. And then they built some automation with AI around it to go ahead and help the industry, the IT group, the cybersecurity group, go and fix all these bugs relatively quickly with automation and reporting in a very smart way. So it's they just have really cool product, and we're getting them into Europe and including hopefully Spain with some opportunities there. And then for myself, I'm also working with another startup as well in the AI and cybersecurity space for venues and for retail as well, to help with e-commerce and with security with event locations or clubs or things like that. So there's a really growing market. And then like Yuka said, I've been working with her for about 15 years in the localization industry. And I've decided I sort of moved away from that in this past year to work with some of this new AI technology, which is really interesting. but we'll see what happens there. But yeah, it's very exciting. It's very cool technology, and it's moving very, very fast, rapid. Every month there's new developments, new challenges, and just want to meet people out there and try to get some connections and see if we can get some pilots going and help some companies out and some help protect the infrastructure, things like that in business.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing. Does anybody have any questions or thoughts? And hearing none, I mentioned maybe before the recording that our last in-person for the region was at Altos Bank. Altos Bank is a group of leaders from the banking industry whose vice chair is Dr. Sanjeev Kagram, who is the former CEO and dean of Thunderbird School of Global Management. When he stepped aside last year, one of the things he did was reach out to me and said, Doug, I love Global Chamber. I want to do whatever it takes to help support you. And so we agreed that he would become the global board chair for Global Chamber. We have a global board of advisors. And I don't think anyone else here is on that board, but we have some folks from the Bay Area, or do we? Yeah. Tatiana Conzavelli, who's an healthcare AI expert, who's amazing, has her company open source. No, what's her company called? Health something. Well, she's amazing, and she's extraordinary, as so many folks in the Bay Area are. It's just a great place to hang out, as William knows, and maybe many of you know. It's just going to a coffee shop in Silicon Valley is usually a fun experience, especially the Blue Bottle over in Palo Alto is kind of my favorite place to go. It's just kind of cool. We've had that in person, and then our next in person is actually next month. And I was going through my notes and I couldn't figure out what day it is, but we have a delegation of about 30 companies from India coming to town. And our job with them is to connect them up at a location, something like a Google or one of the kind of key locations. And so we're working on setting that up and inviting members to that. I think it's somewhere around September 20th timeframe. It's not that date because I think that one might be a Saturday, but around that time they'll be in town. And so watch for more information on that. Our board chair, Jeff Olson of Top Source Worldwide, is not available today, and he sends his apologies, but he'll be back at our next meeting, and we'll be in communication with our regional team and our members regionally in the next week or two. Let's see. So we've got about only have about 10 or 12 minutes left. And so I'd like to open up the floor at this point. We do try to finish up at 55, and which becomes problematic if you're sitting in India, but at least 55 US time will wrap up the call at 12:55. Does anybody, first of all, any members have anything to share if you haven't spoken yet, or even if you've spoken, something maybe you'd like to observe or something you forgot to say? Anita, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'd just like to tell everybody a little bit about what I do. But before I do that, just let you know, I do moderate the Global Chamber Export Import Forum. It's on the fourth Thursday of the month at 12 noon Pacific time. And that translates into a lot of other times everywhere else in the world. But my interviewee for this month is going to be Demetris Evans. She is an attorney and she does a lot in the global world, but we're going to focus on contracts, both from the importer side and the exporter side, because obviously you write them differently depending on which direction you are moving things. And then for September, I just got Casey Branch. We're going to be talking about exporting IP and knowledge regarding cannabis, which I think is so incredibly interesting. And I'm so happy to see it's really spreading worldwide. I have to say it's been very easy to buy CBD oil in Spain. I go once a year. I can't bring anything with me, and I do the non-THC, but there's a health store right down the street from my mother-in-law's place. And the first thing I do when I get there is go buy my CBD oil. So anyways, but just so you know who I am, I'm Anita Rodal, president of SBPI Services. We represent several currency exchange companies, and we help importers, global companies, and international real estate investors lower the rates and the fluctuation risks on their cross-border payments. Within the US, we broker business and equipment loans, global inventory financing, and I do mean global, and AR and medical factoring. And then personally, I help business professionals to create concise elevator pitches and foreigners to reduce their accents when speaking English. Once again, my name is Anita Rodal, SVPI Services. Would love to connect with everybody.
Anita's on our Global Chamber Los Angeles advisory board. Thank you for all your help and support. Our next in-person in LA is September 3rd, and it's a summer social kind of extended into September after Labor Day. Don't wear white shoes. And it's a conversation about India from Gunjan Bagla and the opportunities there. So that's September 3rd in Torrance, California. And I just had an unagi lunch there with Brian Swords and Sal Alizani, who runs the Redak Hotel. They have 18,000 employees that they manage coming into the US with temporary housing coming in from all around the world, 18,000 at Redak Hotel in Torrance. And I got reminded how international, how Japanese Torrance is. I live in Little Osaka in Los Angeles, and it's pretty Japanese. Torrance is really Japanese. It's amazing. So it's exciting. Does anybody else have anything to share, please? And I see Philip, you have your open mic. Do you have anything to share? Philip Auerbach, how are you? Good to see you. You're also on the advisory board, I think in San Francisco.
Yes, thank you. Yes, sorry I joined late. I was in another networking meeting as well. So my name's Philip Auerbach. The company is Auerbach International, and we do very precise and accurate language translating and interpreting from or into 120, at least 120 languages. And that includes non-English combinations as well, such as Portuguese to Chinese, for example. One of the services we offer, two of the services we offer that most people are not aware of, one is called OPI, over the phone interpreting. If you need to speak to someone whose English is limited or non-existent, we can set you up. It's a toll-free number, your own PIN. You simply pay if you use it by the minute. And yet you then have a telephone interpreter who can obviously interpret your English into that person's language back into English for you. Another service we offer besides documents and websites and videos and all of that is what we call name screening. So if you've got a product or service that is going into another country, before you do that, please, it is the cheapest insurance imaginable to ask us to screen your product name, your company name, your logo, your slogan, to ensure that it works in other languages, because very often it doesn't. And my two favorite examples of this is the huge Mexican bakery whose trucks you will see throughout this, especially the southern part of the United States, and their name is Grupo Bimbo. And Bimbo is not exactly the best name to have in English. Similarly, Ford, well, the auto companies are notorious for this. They invest millions of dollars launching a car into another country, totally oblivious, as Ford did, for example. Ford introduced the Pinto into Brazil, totally oblivious that Pinto in Brazilian Portuguese slang means, shall we say, shrunken male genitals. Again, not the best name for a car. So if you are looking to expand your product, your service into another country, please come to us first for this very cheap insurance to screen it. And also we do effectively localization or cultural adaptation. If you have a website that is from another country going into English, it may not have the benefits and appeals that would work for an American audience, and vice versa going into another country. So just because you have an employee who thinks that he can translate or speak that language, that's not necessarily so. We've been doing this for 35 years with accuracy and perfection, And again, we are very cheap insurance to ensure that it is done correctly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Philip, where were
Thank you.
you when Osco Drugs bought Savon?
I don't know that. Oh, Oscar.
So OSCO Drugs bought Savon Drugs. Was here in California, but they were like the main chain for years, like before CVS even existed.
Oh.
And they bought Savon Drugs. And so when you say Osco in English to Spanish speakers, it sounds like you're saying Asco, AHAZ, Asco, Geo, which means disgust. So the Spanish speakers would say Osco, but when everybody else, who's the majority of people, said it with their English accent, it was Asco, Osco. And so, like, who wants to shop at a place called Disgust?
Right.
Yeah,
And savon is the French word for soap. Savon.
I
So
I have a funny story as well. I'll keep it real short. In Japan, Cinnamon office, we were implementing some software out there. They decided to call the software Manco. And I sat there for 6 months writing Manco on the whiteboard. Finally, this guy Sakasa comes up to me at the end and he says, William, I have to tell you something. I go, what is it, Sakasa? I don't know. I'm embarrassed. You didn't want to tell me. For 6 months, nobody says anything. And Manco happens to be a woman's private spot. Nobody said a word. Culturally, they never said a word. So of course we changed the name, but I sat there for 6 months. I felt so embarrassed, but we obviously didn't do our homework.
Right.
And I didn't know
they
Japanese.
didn't come to us to make sure. Again, and this is notorious. Companies spend hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, branding, as they call it, with names without checking whether it works in common languages.
And you could know, besides just language, what you just described as something that's cross-cultural, because the Japanese, that's very Japanese, right? They're not going to confront a challenge. It's like, oh my God, that's so embarrassing. I can't even say anything about it because it's so embarrassing.
And they all look at me,
they
6
let
months
it
in place.
And the Chinese, the Japanese, and Koreans all have the same Confucian culture where they would not challenge the authority of the senior most person in the company, who is promoting the name, of course.
Of just a few other folks that are members that ideally, if you're available to say hi, Mohammed Omar, so many times you've jumped into meetings and you've had the Golden Gate Bridge behind you. And here we are with the Golden Gate Bridge, behind us. It's late there in Turkey. Can you say hi?
Oh, that's the Bosphorus.
Yes. Hi, everybody. I am sorry I'm in a public place, so I apologize for the noise that is coming. Thank you for a great meeting today and brief of what I do. I'm in international trade between Turkey and Iraq. And if anybody interested in this area or this market, I would be love to connect. Thank you.
He's such a determined guy and comes to so many meetings, including our partner in Turkey, so many times. So thank you. Eduardo Gonzalez is our advisory board chair for Phoenix. He's also an at-large executive director covering Mexico. He just secured the Baja California chapter, and we actually onboarded a new member yesterday or the day before through Eduardo. Eduardo, can you say hi?
Hey, Doug. Hi. I just was writing to Philip mentioning that I really enjoy his newsletter and all the bloopers and translations. I actually share a couple to him. Yes, we onboarded a new member yesterday. We got our Mexico City office up and running, and we have our Baja California office. We're working on a semiconductor event for Phoenix in October 6th. As you know, Semicon, the biggest semiconductor event, is going to be held in Phoenix. So we are actively working on bringing in new members and helping local members here in Phoenix and in Mexico, linking with the rest of the 600 chapters. Congratulations, Doug.
Thank you. Phoenix chapter has their virtual monthly on Friday. Same time, so apologies to Europe. And then yesterday, I think I brought on a new member in Monterrey, who's in the you'll be the first one to connect with him. And then tonight there's the Querétaro, Mexico Advisory Board. So Mexico is hopping, and I think there'll be a lot of activity at the Semicon West with Mexico because of our event.
Yep.
Let's see. So we have maybe one more. Does anybody else have anything to share? I thought there was somebody else here. I wanted to make sure. Anybody else? Philip, we got. Okay, great. Anne, thank you for zooming in from the Caribbean. Really appreciate it. And oh, Mungwi Fan, are you available to say hi? And if not, that's okay. That's okay. And oh no, I thought that was you popping in. So thank you very much. I don't know Gar Cohn. So Gar Cohn, hi, how are you? Are you a member or where are you located?
Hi, Doug. Yeah, my colleague Jack McVeigh, I think, recently joined, and we joined sort of as a group.
Yeah.
So
How do you know Jack?
Jack and I are just mutual friends, and we worked at the same agency, although not at the same time. When we worked at IDA Ireland for a number of years, just we didn't overlap directly, but it's a small community, so just know each other through that. And so
I
yeah,
think he might be in Ireland right now because I know I was introducing
Correct.
him to some folks. He's from Dublin, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm from about half an hour further south than him, and yeah, but I've been in California for 20 years now, and yeah, delighted to meet everyone and join this, and hopefully make it a regular thing. As I put in the chat, everything I've done has been really about helping companies go to Europe from the US. So Jack is similar. We describe it to people that we're kind of like wedding planners for international expansion, where we have a short list of the right people to speak to if you need to get something done. And yeah, excited to be part of the group and start attending some of the events.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. With that, I think, unless there's anything else, Yuka, did you want to make any final comments? Anything you forgot to mention or anything you'd like to emphasize?
Thank you very, very much for this exciting meeting. And I just promote my AI series Globinar, which is coming up next week, for August. And then September, we are going to feature William. So please come in to watch us. This month, we're going to talk about, let's say, export trade AI. There's a startup in Barcelona which is creating an AI system to help SMEs to export to North America. It's a very interesting AI system, so please come and watch. Thank you.
Thanks everybody for attending. The deal about Global Chamber is, we do a lot of events, over 700 a year, but we're not an events organization. We're a strategic connecting organization. We spend a lot of time, and we're actually right now spending the last 2 months and at least another couple weeks to pull together all of the member data, and we'll be sending out to all members a forms for them to fully fill out who they want to meet. That's the question you hear a lot from us, like in League of Extraordinaries. Who do you want to meet? And in parallel, we're reaching out to a whole bunch of people and a whole bunch of ways of getting warm connections so that 90% of the time when we make an introduction, you at least get a conversation. We can't do the sale for you, but we can put you in a position to be successful, to grow your business across regions. And that means a lot to us. We like that. And you do too, that we've heard from you. We just need to do it more, and we need to do it better and more productivity because we're busy. We're all busy. We just want to make it easier for you. Thanks everybody for joining today. Take care. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone. Thanks Yuka. Appreciate it.
You too. Thank you, Doug.
You.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Eduardo. Appreciate it. Gar, thank you. Good to meet you. KC, always a pleasure. Thanks, Terry. Appreciate it as well. Thanks for joining. And Olive Lawson. I know that name. So I'd like to learn more. Okay, I'm ready.